Good evening. It is December 3rd, 2024. And I checked, somebody asked me, I looked back on the recordings and I think I started these Zoom meetings. Prior to this, I'd had a weekly in-person course meeting. But then due to COVID, I'm having to think back. That was 2020, kind of January 2020 when that started. So I stopped my in-person meeting. And then I believe it was 2021 when I learned about Zoom and started this weekly Zoom meeting. So I record the meeting and I post it on my YouTube channel, Glenda Carlin, A Course in Miracles YouTube channel. For those that want to view this later or want to look at it again. And of course, first thing, each of you on your own invite in all your helpers. But in general, I always invite in Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, the enlightened beings to be here. They're always present, but they can't intrude unless we, ask them, call them in. I want your advice. Help me, guide me what to do or say. And I'm assuming the people that are here would like insights that can help them wake up from the dream. But you call in your own helpers and guides. They're here. And I never quite know what's going to show up, but what's coming to mind is that it was a couple of weekends ago, I listened to, there's a holy being called Lama Roger Walsh. And besides being a Lama in Dzogchen, he is a professor. I forget at what university, it might be UCLA, of psychology. But anyway, he was doing the Sunday town hall meditation. Sometimes Lama Surya Das has guest speakers, and he was a guest. I listened to it later, but what he was teaching, when I look at what I've learned about Buddhism and Dzogchen, it came out of Tibet, really not Buddhism, it's its own teaching, which is similar to A Course in Miracles in that both teach we are naturally Christ, naturally Buddha by nature. Our nature, our true nature, has been veiled by thoughts of separation, obscurations, concepts, fearful feelings of separation, and why we integrate Course truths and Dzogchen truths and other truths into our daily practice is so that we can let go of these concepts and thoughts that are veiling our true nature. But anyway, this Lama Roger Walsh was talking about, in essence, it's called deity yoga. Now, yoga simply means union with the big source, although, in yoga, they do physical exercises, etc., and breathing while they're being present with the light energy, the prana energy, chi, whatever you want to call it, the presence, the essence that's here always. But anyway, he taught, and I briefly touched on it last week, is that you can stand in front of you a person that you believe they expound the virtues you would like. And see, in Buddhism, there's all kinds of different deities that represent this non-duality, meaning they have an awakened mind, an opened heart, and they live in the now of this isness, this presence of source. But anyway, of course, in the absolute, the physical forms and images are projections from this unconscious mind, which is I'm talking the higher mind, this prana, this chi, this light energy, it animates everything. And the images and the feelings we have are reflections of that clear light. Now, sometimes the images and thoughts and feelings we have aren't that holy and pure. But with unconditional love, source can't come in and say, stop it, don't think that way, and exit out. Cannot, will not do it. Holy Spirit can't do it. Jesus, Buddha can't do it. Enlightened beings can't do it because it's your will. In duality, this seeming separation, we seem to make a separate will from source's will. But it's not true. We only have one will, and that's with this loving essence, this love light essence that we are, love, divine love. But unconditional love allows us to do whatever the hell you want to do, whatever choices you want to make. And so people will ask, well, am I really making a choice? That's a very good question. Because the Course teaches that the script's already written. But how I take it is that one script can have a trillion possibilities, because depending on like what thought comes to mind before I'm getting ready to leave my condo to go to the health club or wherever, I might stop and decide to go get a drink out of my refrigerator or change shoes. That will change when I leave to go get in the car and drive somewhere. So therefore, I'm around different people driving. I'm around different people at the health club. It changes what shows up, right? But so person is say they got a choice, but really there's a trillion items going on, and I don't even know the number in this script, except we can choose grace, love, empathy, compassion for ourselves and our brothers. We can choose these loving feelings, and then we overlook these others. But anyway, so we can choose to have a being, a enlightened being, stand in front of us, which can be any deity, Tara, Buddha, Manjusri, Mother Teresa, Nelson Mandela, Jesus. Maybe it's a family member you had that was totally loving. Does not matter. You pick the person. I picked Jesus. And this Glenda Green had a vision, and it showed her the image of Jesus, and she painted it. And so I have this photo or this painting of Jesus, and I look at it so I can, that's called, awake and alert to the nuances of what he looks like in that image, right? So I put him before me, and I've never had this happen before, but I knew I wanted to join with him. And so I just, in my mind, had him step into my form, a vertical image, step into my form. I've never felt an external presence merge with mine before, but I felt a presence. And when the presence was in my form, I could tell there was a difference. I felt full or whole, WHOLE. It was different. It was different, folks. So I was searching in the Course because I didn't explain this well last week. That's why I'm recounting it before I do tonight's teaching. Is in that email last week, I found where Jesus says, basically, accept me into your mind. Well, you can accept him into this body. Oh, I'm going to digress a second. So in the Course community, there's various Course groups on Facebook, and sometimes I'll post or I'll make a reply to something. And I made a reply. Someone had written a post that said he was basically wanting to clarify something, which I try to do too, is he'd felt these electrical charges, something like that, in his body. But I'm paraphrasing. But because He knew the body wasn't real. He was ignoring them. And it even had a conversation with Holy Spirit, and Holy Spirit said, that's of ego. So he just was ignoring them. Now, how I can relate to this is before I found, or Dzogchen found me, Holy Spirit brought Dzogchen to me, I was like a person like that. Because A Course in Miracles, by golly, and I'm going to find these two sections, and there's going to be in my next week's talk, where Jesus says, he's not going to teach what's beyond the curriculum, this curriculum. So he's got a curriculum. He's just wanting people to learn, but he isn't going to teach you what's beyond it. And then somewhere else, it basically kind of says, going past such and such is not what I want to do now. What I'm wanting to express to you all, when Dzogchen came to me, that brought me after the curriculum, because Dzogchen teaches, well, A Course in Miracles teaches we're light beings. We're light. Teaches that arc of light gets released, the great ray downloads. But if people aren't reading those parts of the Course and understand them, they don't know they're light beings. And I'm gonna search for light being as well and have that next week's talk. So see, that man did not realize he was awakening to the light that he was. So I made a reply. What's happening is you're awakening to the light, the great ray light, and the arc of light is being released, and the great ray light's downloading. Well, basically, then he replied that that wasn't true. The body's not real. And he made some statements, which I now realize are these intellectual statements that people make that take the Course literal about the body. You're not a body. Now, why that's important? Because we're not a body in the absolute. But we're talking that we're the Garden of Eden, in the Garden of Eden, and we're integrating heaven with earth, nirvana with samsara. And what that means is integrating the light energy, chi energy that we are, that animates the form. We're waking up to it, opening our heart, joining our heart, mind, the chakras are open, all those light centers, etc., to where we embody the Christ, and we embody Buddha. We're walking around embodied Buddhas, embodied Christ. And we can visualize this, and it's called faking it while making it, because that's our reality. So we can visualize it, think about it, God, 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 I love you, I love you. We're a light being, visualize the great ray, etc. But I want to get back to that. In absolute, it's true. This is hallucination, a dream, a fantasy. Jesus calls it hallucination, fantasy, dream, illusion. That means these images are thoughts happening in the mind. The big mind, the big source mind, contains all these projections. That's how it works, because the mind's projecting these things. It looks like there's an out there and an in here. Through meditation and integrating these truths from the Course in Dzogchen, we learn there's no outer or inner. There's just this one big mind. Mind's the activating agent of spirit. But anyway, I just want to share that. But in the highest form of waking up in the duality, the body is integrated with all this light energy. We're a walking around physical body, Jesus. And I kind of wrote back to the person saying, what I'm talking about is when Jesus walked the earth, that he embodied the love and clear light of source, of God. He awakened, he knew what he was, and he knows what we all are. But I haven't gone back to see what the other replies were. But I would not have understood this if it hadn't been for Dzogchen, because Dzogchen teaches natural body, natural heart mind, natural breath and energy, integrating the light energy, the love, this divine love that we are, practicing these 10 paramitas, and the course has these virtues we practice, because we're deconditioning this egoic mind to remember the loving, virtuous way we are, our light is. So it's a huge deal to, highest part of the big A awakening is for this heart mind to join, and this light energy, it's radiating. It's radiating and reabsorbing. That's how it works through this form. You are a light being. But anyway, so when Jesus walked into my image, walked in my body, I felt his presence. I read that paragraph. So here's what happens. He writes, and I'll put it in next week's email, that when you reach out and take his hand, or accept is the word he uses, accept him in, I forget if it's in your mind, but to me, I just accept him totally, mind, heart, and body. Step into me, merge, be with me. He said, because I renounced ego, I can renounce the ego in you, which speeds us along the way, right? Because once these merge, we start unconsciously, we're thinking like him, because those thoughts are emanating from him and Holy Spirit. It's huge. So, but he's talking about when two brothers, so to speak, are merged, that helps all beings. Because I'd never really got where he said when two or more are joined, but join's the key word. Merged, mind, heart, and body. And he, because, and in that paragraph, Jesus talks about, like behind you, you could picture there's 1,000 beings, and behind Jesus, well, hell, he's got trillions or 8 billion beings. But we, in that joining, bring the whole sonship with us. It's really powerful to think this way. And I've never experienced that joining in the form. So we don't have to have an experience yet, but ultimately you will, I assume. But consider accepting a deity and having it step into you and merge with you. And during the day, you're calling on that entity to help me, guide me what to do or say. It's powerful because you're embodying Christ or Buddha. Even now, when you aren't fully awakened, you're still Christ, you're still Buddha. And in essence, we're gods and goddesses walking. And why it's called Holy Earth is the Garden of Eden was made by the Son of God, made these images, animated them all, was having wonderful fun with all the play toys, and it knew it was God's spirit animating a form and come into a human form, was feeling what it was like to see out that form, hear out that form, feel out the heart. It was having a fun old time. It was enjoying the 6 senses. Everything was wonderful. It was just seeing, just hearing, just thinking, just touching, without starting to glue words together to make sentences, to glue sentences to make paragraphs, and paragraphs glued together to make stories, which are labelings and judgment of good or bad about these experiences of these 6 stimuli. Thinking is the 6th one, besides the 5 senses. There's 6 senses. Oh, it's just so beautiful to integrate Dzogchen with the course. Oh my, it answers so much. Now, I think that was because during the day you call on these beings to help you. They're always here. And tonight's teaching is to do that during the day. Whenever you can think about, they're always here to help us. Okay, so tonight's teaching came about because I'm trying to pay attention of what's showing up in front of my face. And then asking Holy Spirit, how to look at this, but also is this to use this in a teaching. And so what I was shown is I had 2 different conversations. They were within a month apart. I missed the first conversation I had was with a course student in person, and they gave me a reply to a question I'll ask. Well, the question was, I asked her, what do you do with things that show up in front of your face? And she replied, I need do nothing. And I thought that was just a little odd. But I didn't know why I thought it was odd. But it came to me to explain to her, well, this is what I teach. Whatever shows up in front of my face, like now, even in my condo, there's some plants. I look outside. It's God, God, God. God, clear light essence, can be called Rigpa or Dharmakaya. It's this clear light presence of source is here everywhere. But do I stop and recognize it and thank it? Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. I love you, I love you, I love you. I didn't know you used to be here. I'm so humbled to think I'm animated by the divine love of source. We're holy. It's humbling to think we're holy, divine. Oh, that's why we're gods and goddesses walking this holy earth. Because in the course, and I put it in this email, and I've never heard a course student teach this. I didn't used to teach this. I got to find this. Page 1, it's on 1 or 2, is where Jesus actually says, this is workbook PI 184. The name of God is my inheritance. I had not found that before, but I searched for the word inheritance, on the online, of course, book. The name of God is my inheritance. Then in text 6, chapter 6, section 3, paragraph 2, you are only love. Teach only love, for what that is what you are. Do not forget that what you teach is teaching you. Oh man, you are only love. Now, Ian is not talking about human love. It's this divine, unconditional love that allows thoughts and feelings to come and go on the clear light mind in meditation. Let them come, we learn, and kind of go. That's unconditional love. But when we grab onto them or push them away, that's unconditional. That's human acting, desire. I want it, I don't want it. I like it, and desire brings, I want it, I don't want it. Two-ness happens versus letting thoughts and feelings come and go and be. We can still hear, we can still see and enjoy, but we haven't gone so far as to start that labeling business. But anyway, then look at this, what he says. The majesty of God as your brother is to accept your own inheritance. So he's calling each of us the majesty. Your brother is the majesty of God, and that's your inheritance. I mean, this was so beautiful when I found that word majesty. We use the word majesty for a king or an emperor or your holiness, the Dalai Lama. Majesty is each of your holy essence and inheritance. Then this last one is what we're doing by this. The course curriculum is to learn to sort true from false. We're sorting duality. You first got to figure out what duality is, figure out about that ego and the body and the self. That's the sorting in the curriculum. But what we're doing, we're removing the blocks to the awareness of love's presence. So in this capital A awakening in duality, then that's when we're walking Christ, walking Buddhas, walking gods and goddesses on the holy earth. The Garden of Eden has come back to what it was. It's just so amazing. It's just like, that's why we don't have to leave. Why nirvana and samsara are inseparable. It's all how the mind perceives these things. And if you come from knowingness, that's what we're learning. We're going from false perception to true perception to pure perception to this knowingness that there's only this isness, this ince of God presence. So, or Buddhism doesn't believe in God, but source. Now, what makes it kind of confusing in Buddhism, they call this emptiness. Well, it's not the emptiness that we're all used to thinking about, meaning it lacks something, it's empty. This emptiness is fullness, completeness, wholeness, pure, absolute non-duality. That's emptiness. No, it's the purity of this spaciousness of holiness, clear light. They call it emptiness. But anyway, so the lady said to me, I need do nothing. That was about a month ago. And I didn't stop to go, I think I'm not supposed to check on that. But last Wednesday, I was talking to a course student on the phone. And so with that conversation, on the phone and with the course student in person, became the topic of tonight's teaching, which is when Jesus says, I need do nothing, this does not mean we are bumps on a log, never doing anything. Because, see what that course student told me? When I asked when something shows up in front of your face, what do you do? Her answer was, because she'd heard it from these other course teachers, I need do nothing. Now, this is just stating some facts, neither good nor bad. This is just a fact. I then opened up that section in the course because based on this conversation with this other course student, he was kind of thinking he needed to do nothing because he had been in a car accident. But he was talking to me to get my feedback on it. But the commonality between the two was he sort of thought, ego was telling him, you don't need to do anything. So I read the two paragraphs. So here's the deal. What Jesus means is we lean back and rest in this vertical great ray light tube of light. We lean back and rest in that still center. And there's this phrase I put in the email, which is a phrase I learned from Lama Surya Das. Rest with the still center of the turning axle of the center of the cosmic wheel. That's in my email. If you sit with that phrase and let Holy Spirit help you, I'm trying to point you in the visualization of where the heck this still center is. No one had ever taught me this. And what has come to me is, of course, you can feel it and experience it wherever you want it, but this is just kind of a direction in that. Picture that rest with the still center of the turning axle of the center of the cosmic wheel. So you picture this wheel, and in the middle of it, is an axle. And if you kind of, axle usually has something in there, but really there's some clear space left because that axle is going to turn. It's going to turn around that center point. And when the rim, the area between the center area and the edge of the wheel, there's a little rim. That movement causes the wheel to turn. Well, what this is describing is the wheel is the universe. And the still center is this great ray tube. You got to picture it as a tube. See how that looks round? That's a center. That's a center of that wheel. And it's light. It's a still center, pure, whole, innocent, still. radiating that clear love light out that animates the whole universe, turns the wheel, animates all the forms. Well, just picture you, and that's the great ray is coming in the top of your head, going down your spine, and that that lights up this entire form when it's completely, it lights it all up. But you can visualize this. That's the still center. That you just simply in your mind, you kind of just lean back, shrug your shoulders, relax. Lean back like it's kind of a fluffy white pillow, the full length of your body. You just kind of lean back, relax into it. Rest, just rest. This is a big deal what I'm trying to discuss here, because the purpose of the whole Course of Miracles is to get you to rest in the still center of the turning axle of the cosmic wheel. And that's what Dzogchen wants you to do, is rest your weary heart and mind in the still center of with the still center of the turning axle of the center of the cosmic wheel. But it just takes practice. It takes practice. And then as you transform and purify, unveil, remove these thoughts of separation, the light gets revealed to you more and more and more. You get glimpses, they build on itself, etc. What I want to explain is that's what the two paragraphs are talking about in I Need Do Nothing, where Jesus says, this is on the last page, to do anything involves the body. So picture now we're in our body. This is a Christ Buddha body. But yet we take our attention and we go to that ray. We go to that still clear light. And in seconds, nanoseconds, you forgot the body. And so that's why this is relevant. To do anything involves the body. But if you recognize you need do nothing, you have withdrawn the body's value from your mind. Doesn't mean we discount the body, put it in harm's way. I take care of mine. I maintain it. I want to stay alive as long as I can to keep awakening, keep deepening, because this, in our chants and prayers with Dzogchen, says remove all outer, inner, secret, and then there's top secret obstacles to the awakening, the full awakening of this mind and opening of this heart. But anyway, here's the quick and open door through which you slip past centuries of effort. I'm going to come back to that centuries of effort. Look at that, where he says, you can slip past centuries of, a century's 100 years. You can slip past centuries of effort and escape from time. This is the way in which sin loses all attraction right now, is in italics, right now. For here is time denied and past and future gone. Who needs do nothing has no need for time. Here's the punchline. To do nothing is to rest and make a place within you where the activity of the body ceases to demand attention. Into this place, the Holy Spirit comes and there abides. He will remain when you forget and the body's activities return to occupy your conscious mind. Yet there will always be this place of rest to which you can return. And you will be more aware of this quiet center of the storm than all its raging activity. This quiet center in which you do nothing will remain with you, giving you rest in the midst of every busy doing on which you are sent. And for from this center will you be directed how to use the body sinlessly. It is this center from which the body is absent that will keep it so in your awareness of it. Now see, what he's talking about here is in the beginning paragraphs of that section, they talk about I need do nothing. And some of these course students have taken that damn literally. Bump on a log. I'm doing nothing. You know, that's what the course says. That's what that lady said to me. I need do nothing. Now, and it's okay. It's just that stuck in that we want to lean back into that still center, which is the clear light, your God light, your God energy, your God chi, your God essence that's of everything. And then when thoughts will come, now that's when people get a little question, well, I don't know if it's ego or Holy Spirit. Well, you just do the best you can. If the thoughts come and they seem, respond more responsive like and not based out of fear, then you're being guided, but basically we're doing the best we can. And then based on what you do, then you adapt because somebody's going to say something, some action's going to occur. And see, that's the thing about being awakened Christ or awakened Buddha. We are alive, alert, and awake and spontaneously present with what shows up. I'm not asleep, just pause back here and like letting any damn thing go on. No, I mean, you know, but granted, we do these daily doings that we do, knowing that this is part of the illusion, part of the waking up process to help we spread light in this love from this still center out. We're helping in the awakening of all beings, but yet we make choices during the day and adapt. Respond accordingly. Take a breath, count to 3, count to 10. I wrote it in the email because these are practices where we're deconditioning our habitual habits of reacting to get a pause. It's called a sacred pause or a gap between thoughts where Holy Spirit can insert a thought. And Holy Spirit, Jesus, Buddha, enlightened beings help us with our everyday life. That's where course students get confused too. No, that it helps in our daily activities, guiding us for our medical treatments, asking what to do or to say, etc. This is I teach the middle way, a balance of mind, body, and spirit, while we know the body, is it all a dream, an illusion? But we're bringing loving kindness, empathy, and compassion to ourselves and to the whole world as we live. And we're not missionaries. We're not out here spouting these truths to people that aren't of like mind, but silently. That's why when I asked that lady, what do you do when something shows up in front of your face? Instead of doing nothing, I teach you silently say, I love you, I love you, I love you. God, God, God. Because I just read them a while ago, you are God. You are love. But how else can you remember your God and love, but yet by loving and practicing these things? As you say these things, guess what? There's power to thought, spoken thought, besides thinking it. And if you want to go write it in your journal, every time you do this goes into the unconscious mind. People, you all are getting it, or you wouldn't be here with me. Everything we do, say, and think, the unconscious mind thinks it's about us because there's only one mind. So I go out thinking some stupid ass thoughts. Guess what? Those are going into my unconscious mind, and unconscious mind thinks it's about me. So by saying, I love you, God, 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 to whatever shows up in front of your face. And when you're walking around during the day or doing dishes, brushing your teeth, thoughts will come to your mind. Images of people will come to your mind. As soon as you can, God, 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 I love you, I love you, I love you. It builds on itself. You are deconditioning, reconditioning the unconscious mind. It's powerful. Oh, it's so powerful. So please do not do nothing, because doing nothing keeps karma just like how it is. You haven't deconditioned and gotten rid of squat. It might have even added something, because in a nanosecond, the mind will make some judgment about person. It makes it. It makes it. You don't talk about their appearance. It's all unconscious. And it goes so fast, we don't always catch it all to say, hold it. I'm not thinking that way about that person. But because we know how the mind works, then that's why if you go out in the world and you see something not kind of normal, you can bet ego's jumping right in there to judge it. So then you get you're stopped, you're going, oh no, God, I love you, I love you. This is an image, a result of reflexive radiance of essence, this chi, this pure light mind, just projecting all these images and forms. I mean, doesn't that make sense? But nobody ever explained it to me that way. And that's also called advanced forgiveness. Another practice is to look past the flesh, the body, to the clear light of spirit that's here. And that's, again, faking it while we make it, because we don't believe spirit's right here. God light's right here, but it is. So you're faking it while making it. Just thinking that way, so powerful. I'm looking past the form to the pure spirit light that Lorraine is, Chaz is, Suzanne is, Angela is, Barbie is, Leon is, Julie is, Glenda is. I just, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just did 8 purification sentences and then added a bunch of things in there that I can't even add up the number of positive karma that is. Oh my, it's so, it's so beautiful. Now I digress to why this topic came up. So this course student, I'm gonna call him Walter, he and I were talking on the phone, and bless his heart, sometimes when accidents happen, we don't want to talk about them. Like, I'm embarrassed. Damn, something happened here. Well, hey, the best thing we can do, I found in the course too, Jesus says, bring all darkness to me. Because if we hide any of these seeming errors or mistakes we think we've done, that's going and buried in the unconscious mind again. We haven't brought the light, a clear light of spirit to it, of love, forgiveness, seeing through it to the essence it is. Granted, and because it's a dream, it never really happened, but because we believe in duality, subject to object, it seems to be real. So then that's why we do these practices, while at the same time, we do some real straight cutting through what I just explained to you about seeing past the form to the clear light of spirit. That's treated. That's a high teaching of seeing through the form to see the spirit light that's here. That's a commonality between Dzogchen and the Course, the spirit that's here now. But anyway, this man was involved in a car accident. And so he explained it to me because he was to see what ideas I had. And also just to get what showed up. And I understood that. So I was present and told him what showed up in my mind. But here's what happened to him. So he was driving a friend's car on a street. And in my email, I got one thing wrong because I talked to Walter. Clarified the story. I said, I'm talking about you tonight. I'm not using your name. Make sure that's okay. He came to a street that he needed to access, and it had a curve to it. There was not construction equipment there, but there was a fence built right near the sidewalk that blocked his view to see this curve of traffic coming. And he pulled out, and a car was coming real fast and hit him. So of course he got cited for the accident. He wasn't hurt. That was a good thing here. So he asked me what I thought. I went, well, right off the bat, don't let ego beat you up about this, because you know that's what ego does immediately. Oh boy, it starts doing the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, right? And ego wants to accentuate mistakes and errors. Don't let ego beat you up on this. It's not the cards we're dealt, it's how we play the hand. That's really where the rubber meets the road. Because now, as we do God, 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 I love you, I love you, I love you, looking past the flesh to the spirit, we're deconditioning and purifying and letting go of the unconscious guilt, unconscious judgments, right? But yet karma's still there because duality believes in cause and effect. So I don't know what's going to show up. That's why I call it, I learned this from that Lama Surya Das. When he said it, I went, oh, I didn't know what that meant, but I know what it means now, sort of. I'm one with my karma. Now, what that means is when we lean back and we let sounds just come and go, sights come and go, we're one with the karma because we've not labeled anything, we've not put notes on it, named it good or bad, pushing an attachment and aversion. One with the karma. Now, so, but when a person's awake, alert, and aware, then we know when we go out and attach and when we push, because this is just how the mind is. The ego will never stop talking. And there's such a lifetime after lifetime and a lifetime ingraining of this two-ness thinking. It just comes natural. It just is besides our natural Buddha self. So anyway, you just become aware when you have attachment and let go, and then practice. I love you, God, 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 thinking of my spirit as quick as you can. It's so beautiful. You can just change, you can purify that karma. But anyway, what I told him was, what comes to me, your lesson is mindfulness. Because in essence, when he approached that intersection, I kind of asked him, kind of forgot, it was like, I bet you felt anxious because heck, you can't see the fences there. You know, this could be a problem. Feel anxious. So I explained, I use my feelings to help me be more alert. Because that's when the little sentry, the little soldier that's standing by the hearing and the eyes kind of says, oops, I think we need to be a little careful here. This could be dangerous. This is the right use of the stimuli that's showing up in our vision. And to consider how slow we went into the intersection, or turn around and see if there's another way to go. I don't know. I don't know if there could be another way to go, or, I mean, that's dangerous. So it was mindfulness. And I even took away from this. This was bringing to my attention how I need to make sure I'm driving mindful. Because picture anything that shows up in front of your face or in your mind, it's all here to help us. Both of us, all of it. Yeah, you know. So I took this personal for a lesson for me, okay? But also, it seemed like I got the feeling that Walter wanted to know if he ought to do anything about this. And I said, you know, an episode of when I got a ticket just showed up in my mind. I'm on it. And that means I'm to share it. And that meant I was to share it with you all tonight. Is this ticket I got was over 10 years ago. I haven't thought about this on, I don't know, 10 years. But another thing I forgot to write in the email is I realized I had not practiced advanced forgiveness on that police officer. So my golly, I did. I leaned back. I don't remember what he looked like, but that events there, I practiced God, 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 I love you, I love you. I had not let him go, release him. But anyway, here's my incident, is I lived for over 25 years in a rural area that had one main street, one street in and out. And it was like a 4-mile length street, straight street, no curves. But I didn't need to go south for some reason very often. So I was only on the northbound part. But for some reason, one day I was going south on this straight street, and there was a slow moving car. So I decided I was going to go around it. And when I went around it, this came to me when I was after I talked to Walter, when I was writing this up. I saw that double yellow line and I thought, whoa, that's new. And I even had the thought to pull back behind that car, not pass it. But see, I didn't do it. I passed the car. And it came to me in writing my email that if I hadn't passed the car, I wouldn't have this story to tell about how I did some things about this ticket, which most people wouldn't do. But I'm here to explain, we don't know what we might be guided to do, but also as we're guided to do it, being aware of if I had attachment or aversion, keep letting go to judgments and feelings as the stuff's unfolding, as we're doing activities, you know. But anyway, I proceeded around the car. I passed the car. And I don't even know, with less than 500 feet, I looked in my rearview mirror, there's a motorcycle cop with his light on. I pulled over and I got a ticket for passing in a no passing zone. And then, so then off I went to whatever I was doing. But then, now this is 10 years ago. And I've been practicing A Course in Miracles. So this stuff rubs up on you. You may not think anything's happening, but it is. Because think about the 8 billion people. How many of them are practicing the Course or Dzogchen or any high truths like this? These things cut through layers upon layers upon layers of conditioned thinking. But anyway, later then I had the thought about this street having a double yellow line on it. And so I went out and drove the street and saw where the north end had dashed yellow lines, but the south end, they'd put solid yellow line on each side of the center line for over 2 miles. It's a straight street. There's no curve. There's not even one curve. It's straight. And I, well, this is just an odd deal. I don't get it. And to think I got a ticket because I was passing and I wasn't even speeding. So it came to me to call the police department and ask for the officer. Now, who would do stuff like this? I've never done stuff like this. They gave me the cell number because they got evidently, and I called him, left a message about what I just said to you. I live in that neighborhood 25 years, didn't know those double yellow lines were there. I wasn't speeding. I'll make sure I don't cross those lines again, but this just seems odd in my neighborhood. And I left a message. He didn't call back. So then a few days later, I call again to a police officer and leave another message. No, wait. Oh, yeah, I leave another message. He calls me back. I explain this. And he tells me that the double yellow lines are there because that south section, people were using it as a shortcut. So they, I guess, were speeding and dipping in and out among the cars, and the neighbors didn't like that down there. So somehow they went and got this approved, double yellow lines. So again, I covered, wasn't speeding, straight street. It's a neighborhood street. I'm not shortcutting through. I lived there for 25 years. Just consider, could you void this ticket? I'm asking this guy, void this ticket. I mean, it might have been dismiss this ticket. And I wrote in my email, I think that he said he'd think about it, but I think he told me, oh no, that's a ticket. So I heard nothing from him, nothing from the court system. So I went to the courthouse on the appointed time and showed up because I had made notes about that street and taken pictures, and I was going to talk to the judge about why I didn't deserve that ticket. So I'm sitting there in, the little hearing area, and there's a little gate. They call your name, and you go through the gate and get up there before the judge. They call my name. I get up to go through the gate, and the judge says something like, your case is dismissed. You can go. The officer dismissed your case. You can go. And so, of course, I was shocked. So I say to her, excuse me, did you say my case is dismissed? And she, yes. I even thought I still didn't believe. I said, you mean I don't owe a fine or anything? No, you can go. Now picture this. This looks like a lot of action. I need do nothing. We don't know what we're guided to do. Now, because I did that, then I didn't get the points on my license, have to go to the online class to get the points off, so my insurance done, or maybe still my insurance goes up. I mean, it's a multitude of things that happen due to a traffic ticket. So in the world of illusion, even though it's an illusion, this is our daily life, the physical form that we're not putting in harm's way and helping it have a happier life, with less trouble, less issues, right? So anyway, I shared my story with Walter. And then when I called him, because I said to him, that doesn't seem right that they could put a fence that close to a sidewalk to block the view at an intersection. That doesn't seem, right. Maybe check with an attorney, go to the city. And come to find out, when I talked to him, he had been at Walmart and there were some police officers there. He stopped him and explained what happened. And this one person told him, he believed the ticket would be let go of if that got explained. And he went to the city and showed them pictures of, that fence blocking the view, etc. Okay, well, you get the point. So as a result of me saying this to Walter, I think it gave him more confidence to go do something. This didn't seem fair, but to each his own. Is all, this is up to each person what to do or not do. But we're not here to be, doormats to anything. Or if something's unjust, unfair, that means this could go get checked out. We call 911 if we need help. We get help when we need it. And as soon as we can, think of it, practice of the doctors, nurses, all people involved in the events are spirit, whole, pure, and innocent. God, 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 I love you, I love you. That's that's the crux of our whole effort, of our whole teaching of advanced forgiveness. Now, before I go, is in these 2 paragraphs of this Jesus section, chapter 18, section 7, paragraph 7 and 8, Jesus says, here is the quick and open door through which you slip past centuries of effort. Duh. Bingo. Again, course students don't think reincarnation's real. Why would Jesus be talking about saving you centuries of effort if you did this, if you rest in with that still center and let Holy Spirit guide you? Well, because you don't wake up from the dream, you're coming back. to reinsert your spirit into another form, and you don't know if it's going to be a human form. There's 6 different realms of existence. It can be a bug, an animal, hungry ghost. There's 6 realms. So I then look, because I want this in an email to you all, because this is, take this to heart, why we want to practice resting in that still, clear light center. You want to open your eyes, your Christ Buddha eyes, and look in your mind and become aware of that clear light that's there. Become accustomed to clear light, what it kind of looks like. It's soft, it's clear. Of course, black's going to show back there because that's just the way that is. Black contains all colors, but clear light, but it, you press on your eyelids, you'll see moonlight back there. White light, you can do different. But see, you're wanting to get accustomed to spaciousness, emptiness, clear light. Because when this body dies, the physical body is dead. What's left is your mental body. This is in the Tibetan Book of Living and Dying. It goes through all these phases. There's a mental body. And when it's not confined with a body, it really goes wild with thoughts and feelings, images. You want to have practice, go to the light, go to the light. I'll tell myself that when I'm meditating, looking in my mind, go to the light, go to the light. I'm looking at the clear light, but also other colored lights show up, getting accustomed to what the clear light looks like. So you can go to the light. But I highly recommend maybe you find a trained lama and put it in your will, call this person up. I want them to help me through the bardo to make sure, give me a higher rebirth or help me awaken. Right then you can awaken into the clear light. Right then, buddy. We're talking right then. Even when before death, that's why I talk about the clear light. You can awaken in a heartbeat, even though we're practicing, integrating these truths in daily life. You're swooping, meaning you go to the top of the mountain and rest in this knowingness of this clear light. You've swooped. You're in your Christ, Buddha, God essence. And then meantime, then later we're practicing our truths down here, circling up the mountain, relative practice it's called. But anyway, I look, because reincarnation, we want to wake up in this lifetime. If not, then right in the moment of death. I searched for the word thousand and thousands in that A Course in Miracles and found some more places where Jesus says this stuff about saving you time. This is in chapter 1, section 2, paragraph 6, sentence 7. The miracle substitutes for learning that might have taken thousands of years. Duh. Golly gee, that's more than centuries. He's now got him in the thousands with an S on it. It does so by the underlying and recognition of perfect equality of giver and receiver on which the miracle rests. The miracle shortens time by collapsing it, thus eliminating certain intervals within it. Ooh, I forgot this part. This is in one of Gary Renard's books, where those ascended masters were talking to him about that people can think, oh, nothing's happening. I'm practicing, I'm meditating. I don't seem like anything's happening. No, no, no. The opposite. So many other things are happening. You don't even know about it. But is that this, by just saying the sentences, God, 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 I love you. You are spirit, whole, pure, and innocent, always forgiven and released. Look past the form to the light that's there. This is just huge truths that cut through the delusion, and you're seeing things as equal. Everything's equal. Look what he says there, equality of you're the giver and the receiver on which the miracle rests. You're shortening time for everybody. You're collapsing it for yourself, but for those, it's collapsing. It's collapsing. less time for you to awaken. You just jumped. Oh, I know what Art and Persa said, or one of them said, picture you're reading a book and you get to chapter 4 and they give you some questions. If you can answer question 2, 3, and 4 here, you get to skip to chapter 8. And then you get to chapter 8. You answer those questions, you get to skip to chapter 12. Well, that's what he's talking about here. You're collapsing the amount of time it needs for you to awaken. But to do that is practicing, integrating these truths during your daily life. We can't just come to a meeting once a week. I highly recommend meditating almost every day with a group. You get a synergy of that energy, etc. But anyway, here's next, workbook 97. Each time you practice, awareness is brought a little nearer, at least, sometimes 1,000 years or more are saved. Workbook 97. Wow. Yay. Each time you practice. So, wow, you think nothing's happening. Each time you practice, awareness is brought a little nearer, at least. And that awareness, that means that when we each look out and we're thinking that clear light is spirit or God presence, source presence, isness, emptiness, that's practice. Ooh, at the highest level. Oh man. See, I think I've kind of taken for granted this teaching that I teach, but now I'm kind of really realizing, wow, it sounds so simple, but it's so effective. It's just so effective. Now let's see, we got one more place here. Manual for Teacher 1.2.12. Each one begins as a single light, but with the call at its center, it is a light that cannot be limited. You know what he's saying there? Each begins as a single light. That's your arc of light that's been imprisoned. When the big mind, one mind got fragmented, splintered into these seeming separate entities, that's that little arc or spark of light, that little single light. But with the call of Holy Spirit at that still center, at its center, it is a light that cannot be limited. That's the great ray. You release the arc of light, you release the great. That's a light that cannot be limited. But your arc of light also, when it opens, it's a burst of light. It's very spacious and vast as well. But anyway, and each one saves 1,000 years of time as the world judges it. To the call itself, time has no meaning. Oh my. Wow. Because, today, for some wild reason, I Googled, what did I Google? When planet Earth might end in the illusion because of this global warming crap and all that stuff that's going on. I think it's 8 million years or something. But just look what will happen in 1,000 years if the mind doesn't wake up, because that egoic mind is me, capitalistic, dollar, 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 versus a job that is more looking out for everyone, how to help everyone live better, etc. But to save you 1,000 years in your incarnations, let's say we live 100 years, or it progresses to 120, that's maybe 10 lifetimes. Duh. Anyway, now I'm 8:15, I'm over, but I think that's kind of the crux of this. Any thoughts? I want to thank you all for coming. I just love this. I love you all being here. It helps me so to see your smiling faces and your attentive little attitudes. You're grasping these truths that I'm trying to share. Oh my, that have worked for me. If they can work for me, honestly, it can work for anyone. I knew nothing about Buddhism. Nothing zippity do when Dzogchen was brought from scratch. That 4 years learned about Dzogchen, meditation, sky gazing, space mingling, attachment, aversion, ignorance, suffering, chants and mantras, seed syllables that can just wash right through you to clean up chakras. It's amazing what can be learned that we don't know that can help get to our heart and mind and open our heart and awaken our mind and join heart mind together, where we're seeing with love, hearing with loving, hearing. That's what changes when the heart is joined with the mind. We're no longer just intellectualizing, just in the head. You take your attention to your heart and then look at what's going on. It changes how you'll look at things, how you'll feel, etc. But here at the end, let's go around the screen, and each person's thinking of the ones that are here practicing. This is advanced forgiveness on each one on the screen, and then on yourself. Seeing it just takes a second per person. Anyone got a thought or a comment before I stop the recording? People love to hear thoughts and comments and questions.
Hi, Glenda. It's Julia.
Julie.
Thank you so much. That was such an awesome talk. And I wanted to ask you how we're mentioning that you just see everything as God, and
Yeah.
and so is that like doing forgiveness, or is it different? For doing forgiveness different?
That's what this advanced forgiveness is that Jesus teaches. That and I didn't get that in the beginning, but consider in that forgiveness document I wrote up, where I took things out of the course and some of Renard's books. But Jesus says, look past the flesh to the spirit that's here, the clear light that's here, of spirit. And what is that spirit, Julia? That source. That's God. And what is God? This divine love. And so that when I forget, it's a few months back, I forget when I started this thing of call them out for what they are. That's lesson 183 too. God's name is your own. And that Lama Surya Das teaches this. He says, like gods and goddesses walking on the holy earth, because granted it's an illusion, but that's the awakened state. That's the highest duality will go, because pure non-dualism is when you don't, your mind is merged with source, and there's no images or no thoughts. You're just gone. Only way you know you were there, you come back and go, ha, I was gone somewhere. Because in absolute, there's no images, no thoughts, no feelings. So that's why I clarify, in the awakened state, that's when we're walking Christ, Buddhas, and gods and goddesses. So to think of them as God and I love you, you're doing advanced forgiveness. But it's kind of like the trifecta. That's how I'm calling it. It's like the trifecta. You just a triple whammy. It's very powerful, Julia.
I agree.
Besides your Tara practice you do, tell us.
Yeah, but I really like that a lot. That, that was really helpful.
It is, isn't it? And it seems so simple, but also we don't believe it. I mean, but that's okay. Ultimately, we will believe it. We here that are practicing, because it'll come to you. There is only this clear light, prana energy, chi, animating everything without and the breath follows the great ray light in and out. They go together, but it's this light in the eyes, this light that fills the chakras and comes from the great ray. I'm not making this up. But anyway.
I'm a believer. I believe in
You,
you. And I believe what you're saying 100%.
You see that, because see that you believe it. See, that's gorgeous. And see, Lorraine teaches yoga, this light yoga. Terry Wagers is in here tonight. She's holistic light healer. We've really, and Angela goes to the healing, that light frequency tube. People are congregating that understand and know about this light and are stabilizing their light being and their beliefs and how they feel and visualize. But anyway, we practice faking it while making it, because we've been practicing ego thoughts 50 years, 60. We can sure as heck visualize the truth. Thanks, Julia. There's Barbie. Barbie, we're still recording. Unmute.
Okay. Now, you mentioned to go to the light. Does it matter what color light? Because sometimes I see white, sometimes I see red, sometimes like the sunlight from the yellow. Does it matter whatever light you go to? I mean,
No, but just practice all colors, because we
Okay.
don't know what's going to show up. And picture what the hardest color would be to go to. Clear light.
but they don't all show up at the same time.
Well, I've seen various colors at the same time, so you don't know that either. And when the bodies died and the mental bodies left, no telling how all these images and colors are going to show up. That's why that one time that Lama Surya Das in a teaching was in a room where a holy person had died and was on the bed, and another holy enlightened being was sitting beside the bed yelling at the person. Now picture, they're enlightened, they're enlightened, but just yelling at the person, go to the light, go to the light, screaming it at this guy. And Lama Surya Das kind of held his hand, and it's like he was goosing him, pushing the energy up. But see, when they're in the mental state, when the body's dead, the mental mind, it's still conscious. This awareness, it can hear this stuff. They're guiding it. They're guiding it. So the clear light. So picture spaciousness around me or all the people here. That's like clear light. So when you close your eyes and look in your mind, clear light, you can't really tell it's there. It's just sit with it and think about what space looks like when you open your eyes and look at space. It's just there. Kind of little bit has a little texture, because it's whole, 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 complete, full, not lacking. You just are getting accustomed to looking at clear, being able to say to yourself, clear light. Going, you're telling yourself, go to the light as well. Clear light, clear light. And you're practicing. And then sometimes you see all the color and then various colors. Other times you look into the great ray, it looks like a tunnel. It's a tube. It looks like a tunnel. The near-death experiences where they say, oh, I died and I went through this tunnel. And at the end was this bright light, and they told me it wasn't my time. So I go back the tunnel and go back into the body. Well, that tunnel, picture if you turn the great ray, they're laying down in bed. Lay the great ray down, it's flat, it's horizontal, it's a tunnel. Their mind's going in the tunnel to the light, to source. Now, they saw a light, a bright light. It can be a bright light. I go to look in the tunnel and it's black, because that's called also the void in Dzogchen. Void, it's luminous. There's kind of a shine to it, because it's got this light. this light that's luminous, but it looks like a black void. So you don't want to be afraid if you see a black void, because ego could think, oh, I'm going to hell. There's a black void. No, no, no. Boy, Dzogchen, I'm telling you that, I love Dzogchen. I love the Dharma. I love this. It teaches you these words that I can now relate to and realize it's all perspective. That black void contains everything, all chi, all inner, it's all light. And black contains all colors of the light. So that was a very good question, Barbie. Just looking at all colors, don't limit yourself. Black void, what luminous, shiny. Because picture clear light. If I hold a clear piece of, let's just say vinyl, clear light, guess what I'm going to see? I'm going to see you guys on the other side, right? Because I'm looking through clear light. It's not coloring anything. It's clear. Our spirit is clear. God's source is clear. It's projected these images. So that's why we see these images on this clear light screen. Clear light doesn't hide anything. But it created, it made all these things and made all. The only really thing creation means of spirit world, that's really creation, divine love. When we're not of our holy mind, we're making things because they are impermanent. They can live and die and change, right? But anyway, clear light. Not normal to go look at clear light, but it's a big high teaching. Rigpa, you can Google it. Dharmakaya. And what I found in my awakening process, that's called investigating, but it's not when the intellectual mind. But boy, when you're asking, oh, sit with me with this Rigpa or Dharmakaya, I'd like to understand, know this, and experience this. Then you're reading it. See, because that becomes a practice. You're absorbed in these teachings. You're absorbed in wanting to, granted, I still watch Netflix films, go to the health club, work out. But anyway, wow, you're investigating these words. And when I did that, I didn't know what bodhisattva meant, bodhicitta, suffering, six stimulus, skandhas. See, it's important. Look up some different words, then go and apply them to what Jesus was trying to teach. You get a double whammy. You get it on a deeper level. That's what I'm trying to share. We keep getting this deeper, deeper, deeper. It never ends because it's just so vast. The insights and the comfort, the peace, the gentleness of this divine love, right? Anyway, any other thoughts or questions? Because I'm going over. Oh, Lorraine, unmute, sweetie.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you repeat the quote you said that Lama Surya Das about where is the still center? You said rest with the.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's so divine. I love that. That's one of my I love this one. Rest with the turning axle of the center of the cosmic wheel. I think I got that right. Rest with the still center of the turning axle of the center of the cosmic wheel. Now that's huge. Now, I'm going to cover 2 more minutes of that because you brought it up. It's just a delight to sit with that whole phrase because that's where you learn where this home is, this rest, this vertical great ray, this still center. And it's not little. You can make it 2 inches in diameter or big as your head. You lean it, rest in the still with, you're not in it, you're with it, the still center of the turning axle. That axle is going around the outside edge of the great ray. It turns because that light energy is coming out. Oh, I love that. Yes. That, and it's radiating out, but picture your head, our heads, everybody's head. You do this individually because a great ray is with each of you. Each has a great ray. Okay. The head, great ray, this thing's right down the middle. The head is the part of the wheel. That rim, the head's right there. It's the wheel, part of the wheel. It's part of the spokes, the universe, because the body's part of the physical universe. But this thing's turning. It's turning round and round. So picture Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. I learned this from a Zoom talk Lama Surya Das did after a question and answer. In a question and answer. That's why this is important that you will ask things. Somebody asked him about that Om Mani Padme Hum that HRI hadn't been with when she had heard it said before. But basically, here's what he said. It all went real fast. I had to go listen to that Zoom meeting over, handwrite notes to get what he meant was, we're saying, you're at resting the still center, Om Mani Padme Hum. That Om Mani Padme Hum syllables are circulating. You see them going in this around the rim of the great ray. They're going around the rim. Om Mani Padme Hum Re, Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Then spell Om Mani Padme Hum Re letter by letter. OM. It takes a little bit and see what you're doing. You're training your mind to focus. And this is beautiful because this focus, you're helping heal the 6 realms. Om Mani Padme Hum, each syllable, each letter is going out to a specific realm to help heal it, to wake it up. So you get huge meritorious merit. Oh, this is redundant, I think. By doing this, because you want to help them, but you're also helping yourself. And those, picture that rim to the outside edge of the tube of the great ray. It's spinning. It's sending off those letters, throwing them into all the realms, freeing them up. It is so powerful. Om Mani Padme Hum could be, HRI, could be the single most powerful mantra ever can be said. It's a favorite of the Dalai Lama. Anyway, thank you so much. How's that, Lorraine? You can always call me. Yeah, any of you can always, oh, I love this. See, that's what you do. I would draw diagrams. I would have notes. Because see, you're living it. You're immersed in it. You're being with it. And boy, layers just melt away of delusion. Because Holy Spirit, all the beings know your intention. You want to understand this. You want to know it. That's gnosis. You want to sit with it, be with it. Oh, it's so beautiful. I can't believe, I'm so thankful for this.
I was imagining the eye of a tornado, just being in that still point, and then the tornado is going and going and going.
That's the universes. Also the eye of a hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
It's still there, and the airplane can go in there, right? That's gorgeous. See, yep, see, you're visualizing, because see, then you be there. You be your mind right there in that still center. And that's when we rest and we abide there as best we can. And then we're responding from there. You take it off the meditation cushion to live your life that way, remembering, oh yeah, the still center. I can count to 3. I don't have to react to that. Help me, Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Or I need not say anything. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
If you're guided by Holy Spirit, don't say anything, then you're not saying anything, but you may be guided to do something or say something. That's this powerful part about knowing where to rest your weary heart and mind. I never knew where to rest. That's being fullness in that still center. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Would you say that that is really like the crown chakra? You think that that wheel is like, if it's here, it's the crown chakra?
I think there's another one. Say some more that are on the back of the head. There's one on the back of the head, Abrasia, or there's some other names. There's one on the back of the head.
Yeah, I don't know
But
about that one.
yeah, Google the chakras on. I'll look too. But
Well, there's also the Ajna chakra, which is third eye, and that spins also.
Oh, I don't know this for sure, but the chakras are individual little wheels, spinning light wheels of different lights. And they all, in this awakening, they all get lined up and they get opened so that they're spinning. Now, the great ray, I've never been told where the great ray comes in the top of the head. I've just experienced that it comes in, but then when it's coming in, when I'm meditating, it's almost like it's in the center. It's not back where like the spine is, because Lama Surya Das is the one that says it follows along the spine, the Hindu cord of light, it's also called. But I kind of feel that it's coming through the middle. And then if you look at the wind channels in diagrams, there's the main one down. I don't even know what all these are called, but I just figured it was the great ray. And the one on each side is the yin and yang. And when they get joined and they're no longer, they get straightened out. They've been wrinkled, crinkled, and all knotted up. They get straightened and then they spiral and join around the great ray. So that's why my head moves, because there's like this movement in and out of this light. So I don't know, I'll Google, I don't know if it comes in a certain chakra. I just know there's a chakra back of the head, there's some name. It opens in the awakening. Then the heart mind, there's etheric chakras out in space that aren't in the form. Heart mind opens etherically, joins and opens outside. And we don't have to know all of this. We just need to have a comfort with it, that you're a light body. You are a light body, a being that, and this is just so gorgeous, how we cannot think that we're walking around Christ or Buddhas embodying the light and love. That, well, you all know this is high stuff that you all are practicing. This is an integration of this. But anyway, we'll look at that. Let's look at that and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
But see, I have to, and I'm getting more open that I don't really, it doesn't bother me. I'll talk about, have a whole topic on chakras. And those that want to listen will listen, and those that don't, won't. It'll touch those it needs to or not.
Yeah.
It's just whatever I'm called to do. And see, you're bringing this up.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what we'll do. We'll talk about arc
I've
of light.
imagined that the great ray is in front of the spine. So you have the
Yes.
spine and it's in front of the spine.
That's what he says. Lama Surya says it's in front of the spine. But because of all that light, maybe the light's from the front of the spine to the middle of my head and going, it's hard to get location. Yeah, but it's for real. It's what I'm explaining here. This is literal. When I visit with some course students, they do not believe this is literal. Don't even want to discuss it. It's not true. The body's not real. So then these things aren't real. So, but no, these are, this is why this Terry Wager says I'm unique in that I'm integrating these teachings together about the embodiment of the Christ Buddha, which I hadn't thought about. to help those that want to go that way. The others, there's so many paths. There's so many paths unique to everybody.
Well, it's repurposing the body. Right?
Can't even call it
Repurposing. Yeah.
ascension. That's a good word. Repurpose. Ascension. We ascend to our higher nature. And the Course talks about the Son of God fell in the separation, fell to such, I forget how he wrote what fell. The distance is too great if it wasn't for Jesus to span the distance. I'm not kidding, because it just fell to this duality belief. We need help to get out. And that's why I ask people to consider taking a physical enlightened being in the world, like Lama Surya Das or other lamas that they check out, to help them transmit light and chi and truths, and can look at their form and know exactly what they need. Mind, body, and spirit can look at the whole thing. But anyway, save you years of work. Okay. I probably should stop, because people see 1 hour, 42 minutes, go, oh, I'm not listening to something that long. But those that do will. Oh, Angela's got her hand up. I'm still recording. You want under recording, Angela? Okay, unmute, please.
Well, Glenda, you talking about the chakras, and you're reminding me and showing a distinction with those that want to hear that, because I'm learning more just from you about the Great Ray. With my, I had a teacher also, and we did a lot of visual meditation and breath work. And that was my experience, the light body. I recognized the light, I recognized colors. Some of these teachers out there with the Course in Miracles, in not judgment, but maybe because they did not experience, and maybe, I try to meet them where they're at. They kind of want to say note about new age or energy, but there is an energy. And sometimes, it's hard for me to, and I also appreciate how you say, I still go to the gym, I still go to the doctors. It puts more perspective and more balance that, we're not totally enlightened. And even if you're doing a meditation, you have to still leave your home, and you do have to pay attention while you're driving, and you can't be in woo-woo land, because there is there's a distinction there. So, I still struggle myself, and as you know, I had some surgery with the body sensation and the mind, and reminding myself that those sensations, it's always mind to mind, but, I think it's so helpful when just be that stillness somewhere in it, and let go, and feel that lightness that's brought to you, so that because there's we are still human, and there's a human part human, if I'm making any sense to that. But and I remember you also telling me about, it brought me to another level, when the body is never sick, the body never dies. And that is true. The longer we can recognize that this is all just an illusion, and it's all in the mind, the more peaceful and the more light we can be. And anyways, I don't know, I just very grateful for the practice, and that you do this also, and it's so helpful with the Course in Miracles. There's nothing like it.
Nothing like it. That's so endearing to me. What you said something, Angela, is when you have pain, you just bring your attention to the pain but bring it from this place of rest, or that you know the light, you know what the light is, and you just move the light to there, or see light, however you want to, and let light rays, because that's like the sun. You can picture light rays going through the pain, through it, through it. That's like taking the light, a clear light of spirit through it. But yet, at the same time, I'm the middle way. If pain also is a way to say something's might not be quite right, then you might want to check with the doctor, have a test, and have a Chinese herb or whatever, and acupuncture or whatever, I don't know, along with medical surgeries or whatever. I'm not ignoring these things because we want to stay alive and as healthy as we can to wake the heck up and be with the, no longer avoid the pain. That I did that for years. Avoid, imprison ego, repress feelings, deny thoughts, because I was trying to, in meditation, repress thoughts. I did not know that was the opposite of what you want to do. But people don't know that. They're trying to they're trying to get that stillness that we're talking about to rest in. But that's a false stillness. That's false. That's oneness with that ego mind. And I was trying to think of that the other day. That's the one false oneness. So we bring our attention to feelings, pain, thoughts, the body. We don't deny it, but we're not wallowing in it either. And we're being with it, sending light and love through it. Even remember last week it was, I think, or a few weeks back, we open our heart, make that heart cave, put our own body in the heart cave and wash it vertically with a great vertical ray going back and forth through that body image you put in your heart of family, friends, politicians, because Putin, Kaczynski, all the politicians, washing them. Put a region of the world in your heart, washing it. We're letting it, seeing it as pure, clear light, etc. While we may do something, we're a human being, but we forgot the beingness of being resting in the clear light. But yet we're a body experiencing what it's to be in a human form with all these sensations. We're not pushing them away or attaching to them. We're letting them be. It's a huge teaching to let all this stuff be, even to let the body age, let it be. But yeah, I'm washing my face, put my moisturizer on, it's just, oh yeah, sunblock. I mean, let's be real. In dualism, these things happen. So anyway, whatever, it's a balance. Thanks, Angela. That's what I'm
Thank you.
teaching, a balance, mind, body, and spirit, yet knowing this is all an illusion. It's a balancing act. But at the very top, swooping at the top, is the knowingness that there's only God or source. Buddhism doesn't call it God. Only source, animating everything. Clear light, spirit. Now, Julia, this is a long one, but we keep going. Julia's got a question. Thanks, Angela. Thanks, Lorraine, Barbie.
Glenda, what is its purpose?
Say again, honey.
What is the purpose of this dream or illusion?
What is the purpose of the illusion?
Yeah. Is it for the, because I was kind of thinking it would be for like what did you just call it? Advanced forgiveness, because that seems like a purification, right? Because we're purifying our thoughts and returning them to oneness. So is that the purpose?
Now, I went further back about purpose. The purpose, let me just a second. To the very beginning, in Dzogchen or Buddhism, it's called the beginningless beginning, the groundless ground. That's this still resting point, this still center we're talking about here. From it is all this light energy, love, divine love energy. And I don't quite understand this, but the Course teaches that God created a sun because it wanted to feel love. And I pictured that extending love back and forth. You with me? Wanted to feel that. So God created a son of God because I've always thought, and it's in the Course somewhere, I'll find it again sometime, where Jesus says God can never have agreed to the Garden of Eden. He didn't say it exactly this way, because he would have known that it could change. So who made the Garden of Eden? The Son of God. So the Son of God decided to have a sandbox. These are different words. A playhouse, a garden to play with things, just a fun game to put his spirit in and feel what it was like to be confined in a tree or a body. It was all just a fun game until it fell in love with the body. The spirit fell in love with the body. And when that happened, that spirit got trapped in a body. It imprisoned itself in a tiny little speck of dirt, a shell. When we're looking at all the universe, the mind's bigger than that. So spaciousness has no limit. And the Son of God took his spirit and stuck it in a body, made the Garden of Eden. Well, and then fell asleep. So then that's the separation, when he believed in two-ness, form and object, subject and object. So before the fall, there was no purpose except love, divine love, but really there was no two-ness. There was just the extension of love. I don't even know how that works, but extended. It just extend. There's no movement in the absolute, but I don't know. But anyway, but then once that fall happened, and Lorraine has asked this before, then became the purpose of the Garden of Eden was that then there were images. So that's why I say, thank God there are images to forgive, to overlook. Because picture, if there were no images here, there were just the spaciousness of clear light, how would the mind know it was asleep? It would be one with duality. One, it would just not, it, and that's in the Course somewhere, because thank goodness there's an object where then we seem to have an inner reaction and we have a feeling of not something that's not love, and we go, all right, I need to wake up. I got to choose again. Then we use forms and feelings and the six senses to wake up from. So then the purpose of them is what shows up in our face and in our mind, and that's all the Garden of Eden then, that seems to be in separation. Does that help, Julia?
Yes, yes, that does.
But it makes sense, doesn't it, that God would not have ever made the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, and
Whoa.
there's that like when in the Course they say that like God doesn't even know that we're here.
Yes, doesn't know a damn thing about, because that's two-ness. Mm-hmm. 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 But yet that divine love is within Holy Spirit and all of us, because it animates her form. Yeah, knows, and that freaks people out because knows nothing about it, but that's okay. Because God can't know of anything but union, isness. And that's why
One.
these holy enlightened beings like Lama Surya Das goes, it's instead of beat, it's E or int, because presence is even too big a word. Just int, isness is, because on this vast, absolute, divine love. It just is. But anyway, we have such nice conversations, don't we? Okay, you delightful beings. I love you all. Come up with some more questions. Whatever you want to bring up. People love hearing these things. You all, thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm going to stop the recording. Don't you love that we know how to make those little hearts go up in the air? I think I know how to do that. I love how that happens. Isn't that sweet? You ever thought of these things?
How'd you get so many hearts to come up at once?
Yes, yes. The mind is just that. See, that's a beautiful use of this creative mind. Okay,
See,
I'm
I'm
gonna
only
stop.
making one at a time. How did you do it's like you did a shower of them.
Okay, hold 1 second. We'll put this in the recording. On that symbol react, you just touch it, and then there's on mine, there's 3 lines of words. See with the line that says on the top, send with effect. Touch the heart that's in that row. There you go. That I'll remove. See, are you
I'm on
see it?
my phone, so
Oh,
I
you're,
don't
you may
that.
see the phone, you may not see it. See, I don't know. But
Yeah,
on
I
your,
just have the emojis.
yeah, on mine, see, there's send with effect. Then the next line underneath it's reactions and raise your hand. The top one's got a heart and you touch it and you get this flow of these hearts.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm touching it again. I love
Cool.
that.
So that's really cool. Hey,
Isn't
you know
that
what?
sweet?
I
Huh?
went to I told you about Dr. Joe.
Yes.
And so I went to a meditation that he did today. He did this live event from Cancun because he's doing a retreat there right now with a 10-day retreat. And it's the first time he's ever done 10 days. And he's like, he takes blood and saliva and hooks people's brains up to monitors and stuff because he's doing a lot of science on and research on how meditation changes the brain. But he said something is interesting today. He said that there's more material in nothing than there is in reality. I know it's hard to understand.
More
And
material in what?
in nothingness.
In nothingness.
Yeah.
Meaning fullness.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's like
wait.
the field, right? Like the unified field that, he talks about there being a quantum field and which there every infinite possibility is in the quantum field, and which I kind of feel like that's that, where source is, that all things come from this field
Mm,
of
mm,
infinite potential.
mm.
And but also there's one other thing he said that, he said he said that the chances that we know anything about reality and are zero.
Oh, for the regular person to understand reality, zero.
Yeah,
And I
like that we don't
understand that
really.
this is pretty far out, that 1 or 2% of the whole world realizes there's the reality is this clear light, spaciousness, emptiness, fullness.
Yeah, like they would think if they heard us talking, loony bin.
Oh, yes,
Hey, we got
that
it. We
we
got a
were,
hurt. We got a little herd of them here right now.
yeah,
Caught
it
sick.
is, it is because this is just too alien, Star Trekky, far out. Um, but that's just the way this is. We're on the
Blasphemous.
leading
Blasphemous.
edge. Huh?
they would think that it's blasphemous.
Oh, blasphemous. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Oh, yes. And that's why we're not missionaries and why we don't speak these things to people that aren't of like mind. Because there's a thing called Baker's Act where they can put people away in a psychiatric ward. And I've known of one person that happened to. He made the mistake of saying he heard the Holy Spirit's voice, because you know there are murderers out there that say, "Oh, I heard the voice to go kill somebody." That's the wrong voice. But anyway, yes, we're very selective who we discuss this with, because it's just unusual. But see, A Course in Miracles, what was 1976? But Buddhism is a few thousand years old. And Dzogchen, I think, came before from another galaxy. It's that high. But both of them, Christ and Buddha, Jesus in A Course in Miracles wrote it through that scribe, Helen Schuchman. But it both teach that we are this high presence, God nature, just veiled by all these thoughts of dualism. It makes sense, doesn't it? Oh, man. Oh, man. Well, I love you guys so much. I just thank you, Barbie, God Angela, God Leon, God Suzanne, God Lorraine, God Julia, God Chaz had to leave, God Glenda, all sentient beings in the 6 realms. Please help remove all outer, inner, and secret obstacles to help all sentient beings, seen and unseen, wake up from the dream that they've ever been incomplete, apart, or separate from source. And we bestow any merit, any good truths we learn tonight out to all sentient beings to help them wake up from the dream. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yay! I love you guys. I'm stopping.
But for that,